Hello, my chicklets. Thank you for stopping by. We have 1 month left in this year. I do hope you are taking care of yourself and have some wonderful things planned. I've got a few really great stories coming up, so I do hope you enjoy this coming month. But let's kick things off with falling stars. The stars tonight were beautiful, though if you asked Logan, he would tell you that his interest was completely scientific. He had been raised in a family that valued the practical, that saw a job as a means to an end. Logan never told his colleagues or his family the deep respect he had for the stars and the heavenly bodies. Logan loved space. He loved every inch of it, and he wished nothing more than to explore the stars, but his health got in the way. When Logan was still in high school, he learned that he had a rare heart condition. It wouldn't interfere in his everyday life, and with proper medication and treatment, he would still live a long and healthy life. Unfortunately, that meant he would not be able to become an astronaut. His dream of being with the stars would always be just out of reach. So, he hid his love and his passion, and did the next best thing. He spent the last few years of his life dedicated to his job at an observatory, researching new stars and galaxies, learning as much about them as he could. He knew he would never be able to be a part of the stars, but as long as he could spend his days learning about an infinite cosmos, he would be happy. Even if he couldn't find someone who shared his enthusiasm for the stars, he could still be happy just observing them. "Are you going home, Lo?" One of the men he worked with, Virgil, asked him. Virgil had a boyfriend to return to at the end of the night, a dramatic man who felt the need to express his affection through ever-growing romantic gestures. Logan had to step in and request that he stop, after trying to surprise Virgil for their 6-month anniversary by decorating the lab with purple and black streamers. It was not Logan's thing, and Virgil seemed to deny that he liked it, but the bright red blush on his cheeks stated otherwise. Virgil had a boyfriend. He had a reason to return home. All Logan had was the stars. But he was content with that. "No, there are a few more scans that I want to run on the telescope tonight. I will head home after I'm done." "Don't stay up too late. I know you have a bad habit of that." Though Virgil gave him that warning, they both knew that Logan wouldn't heed it if he found something that got his attention. Logan had a bad habit of staying in the observatory even after the sun was beginning to rise, and he could no longer see the stars he loved so much. The observatory was a place of safety for him, but it also meant he was able to make more discoveries. Tonight was one of those nights. Late in the morning, as a light pink hue was beginning to fill the edge of the horizon, something caught his attention. Logan saw a comet entering the atmosphere rather close to their location. There were no meteors planned for tonight, and he had not seen anything strange earlier in the evening. It would have been hard to miss something that seemed to land this close to the observatory. He quickly went to check his charts and his maps. He had been wrong before, though it was a very rare occurrence, and he didn't like to admit when it happened. Still, with something like this, he felt it was important that he double-check all his information. Map after map, they all said the same thing. There shouldn't have been a comet, but he had seen it with his own eyes. Then again, maybe he was tired. Logan looked around the work area. He was alone, and there was no one to confirm he had seen anything. He had 2 options here. The comet didn't seem as if it had landed too far away. He could easily go check it out. The other option was to ignore it and go home. He had worked long enough today, and no one would fault him for going home at this time. In fact, most of them would probably encourage it. His curiosity got the better of him. "I shall check into the landing, and if I imagined it, I will call it a night." Logan nodded, reassuring himself that this was indeed the best course of action. Packing up the supplies he would need if he did find a meteor, Logan climbed into his car and began to drive off, looking up at the star-littered sky. Space was such a beautiful concept. He really was lucky to have the chance to experience it the way he did. As he got to the crash site, his adrenaline kicked in. There was a small crater where the meteor landed, which was unexpected as most of the time meteors burnt up in the atmosphere. There was rarely anything left when it hit the surface, but this area had been caused by something large hitting the ground. This could be the discovery of a lifetime. He had to tell Virgil, and the others, but he couldn't wake them up at this time of day. Pulling out his camera, he began to photograph the area when his lens caught something beautiful. a gorgeous creature that shone like a star itself, was struggling to get out of the crater. Without thinking, Logan snapped a picture before slowly making his way to the creature. Surely it was arrogant to believe that they were the only life in the universe, but Logan had not expected to ever meet a creature from beyond the stars. "Would you like help?" He held his hand out, losing all composure as he looked into the creature's eyes. It was as if he was looking into 1,000 galaxies of baby blue perfection, and his mouth hung open. So beautiful. The creature in front of him looked confused, taking his hand and pulling itself up before smiling. It looked over Logan before realization began to flicker in those baby blue eyes. "Logan? You must be. It's so weird to see you up close, but I'm so excited to meet you. You can call me Patton, and I use he/him pronouns." The creature, Patton, whose shape was human but could somehow not be described as such, he was much too beautiful to be human, flung himself at Logan. Logan was not the type for physical contact, especially from a stranger, but his mind was on overdrive as he looked at this person. How could an alien speak English? And how did he know Logan's name? He even knew about human culture with pronoun segregation. What was going on? Patton must have seen the confusion on Logan's face because he continued, "I'm your fallen star." "Wait, what?" Those words snapped Logan out of his internal dialogue. "How are you in any way a flaming ball of gaseous chemicals? You are an alien, right?" "Not really. I'm your... How was it phrased? I'm your soulmate, your wish, the answer to your dreams and thoughts," he said, clapping his hands together. "I have loved you and watched you look up at the skies with such passion and desire, so I'm here to bring you happiness." Logan swallowed. I am content. I have a stable job that I love and enjoy. I have a house filled with books that I enjoy to read. What more could I want?" "A reason to return home at the end of the day?" Patton took his hand. "Give me a chance. Just a week will do. At least, I hope it will. I have had so long to fall in love with you. Hopefully, I can show you why I was sent to you." Patton saw the dark bags under Logan's eyes and reached up to touch his face. "Starting with this, we should get you home. Don't want you turning into a bicycle, something that's too tired." A smile lit up the star's face, and Logan was too tired to hide it. He smiled as well. "I guess, for a short while, I shall give it a chance." But Logan could already tell he was falling hard for the man in front of him. "Loki, that makes me so happy." He wrapped his hands around Logan's neck, hugging him again. He smiled happily, pulling away from Logan and taking the keys to his car. Logan was indeed too tired to protest as he followed obediently, sitting in the passenger seat that had long remained empty. Once they were on their way, directions to Logan's house programmed into the phone mounted to the dash, Logan fell asleep. The sun had already risen, forcing all of the other stars to hide, leaving room for the creatures of the day to come out. Patton had been lucky. He had been able to get out to see Logan. He had been chosen to be Logan's happiness. Looking over at the sleeping man, he couldn't help but smile. "Thank you for always loving me, Logan. I want to show you how much I love you." Thank you for listening. Again, this story was called Falling Star. I really love this one. I think it's just really cute and soft. So I do hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day.